People are getting themselves into more and more debt, trying to escape the nightmare by falling into a bigger trap. All right, folks, change of script. What used to happen on every bank renewal? What would we do? We would shop for better benefits, for better terms, for better interest rates. The banks would run after you and we would finally close something that would benefit us. So what has changed? All right, like the biggest hurdle is now. The biggest mortgage renewals in Canada is now, 2026 and 2027. So there's an estimate that about 10% will not be able to renew, right? How so? They might be able if they fork some more money or if they get a bigger haircut, right? With higher interest rates and all of that stuff. So everything is in the play, right? So let's talk about the biggest motive. What are we doing here? What was the biggest motive? It was buying real estate, buying a home, right? Nowadays they call it a house. Used to be a home, right? Why? Like what was the reason? Well, first of all, you would build something on your own, correct? You would buy it, you would create wealth over a long period of time, decades. You will be able to use that and absorb that and pay off some debt for your kids, help out your kids, and have a home for generations. That was the game plan. That is why many people around the world would flock to Canada, right? Because it was the Canadian dream, right? Like we stole it from the American dream, but whatever, it's the same thing, right? As long as dreams come to fruition, like you can see your dreams, right? Hard work, go to school, get educated, all of that stuff, run the hamster wheel, but finally you would gain something. Now, everything has flipped upside down. Like, homes or houses or however you want to call them, they're big burdens nowadays, right? And most people don't realize that they're trapped, right? And I had some debates, like even on this channel, like I had a comment the other day. I was laughing so hard, and they said like, look, I have been watching your channel for 3 years, and nothing happened. I said, what do you mean, right? Like 3 years ago, I called out the condo market crash, job losses. There's so many things like the developers going belly up, people losing their homes, jobs, recession, and all of that stuff, right? Like a death going through the roof even more, and they didn't answer on my comment yet, but this is what I have commented back, right? Because by some terms, technically seeing more than 20% off, right? Like that's a sale, right? And even at this time today, it's still not enough, right? And that just goes to show you how big this bubble is. Like this is big. It's overinflated, overly large, and when it explodes, and eventually it will, then it will be a disaster. So what's holding it? So that was a big question that people are asking me. So hold on a second, like what's holding it? And the answer is actually very simple. It's death. People are getting themselves into more and more debt, trying to escape the nightmare by falling into a bigger trap. And most of people, like that I speak to, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm tired. That there was another comment on the channel, like, all these expensive condos, they're worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes even close to $1 million for nothing. and then like they're driving a six-figure car, like $100,000, $200,000 vehicle, right? So it just goes to show you that the middle class cannot compete anymore unless you get yourself into debt, right? Like that's it, right? Like if if you acquire more or burdens on your back, you will have visually lavish lifestyle, which contradicts one another, right? I mean, isn't the beauty in having nice things like homes and vehicles and cars and yachts and airplanes or whatever to enjoy it, right? And there's a difference that most people don't get. And I believe personally, this is what happened during the pandemic era, right? I mean, all of a sudden overnight, everyone became a millionaire. And then that spending translated into bidding or a auction against each other psychologically. And like I'll share a quick story from both sides, right? From a husband and a wife, right? Like two different stories. So one story is that the man in the family, the husband, has seen the opportunity to provide the life that he maybe was dreaming or that he wanted to provide for his family, and he did so, right? Like he went into massive debt. He had a home. He took a loan against that home, right? Like with a minimal mortgage on it. He took a loan against it. He put a down payment on a bigger home, like huge home outside the city because he wanted to provide a little bit of land and all of that stuff, yada yada yada. Then he got caught up in that, falling of the price and whatnot. So when I spoke to him, I said, what made you do that? I mean, you already lived comfortably. Like you had a semi, you had a few vehicles that are paid, nothing spectacular, but you had a cool life. So what made you do that? And he didn't admit it at first, but then he said, like, look, it was like looking at my family, looking at my wife, and then that push from the media and everyone else kind of becoming successful overnight made me pull these triggers, right? So all said and done, within that few years, he lost somewhere around $300,000, right? So that's one story. The other story is the wife, the lady in the family, and she kept nagging. Oh my gosh, Bill and John and so on can do it, and why can't we do it? Like they have two vacations a year, they have two winter vacations, they have four summer vacations, they have an RV, they have a cottage, they have this, they have that, and the constant nagging, right? And the opportunity in their mind showed up where they could actually walk into a bank and walk out happy because they have received the one thing that they're dreaming of, and it's money, right? However, nobody in that state of perfect mind is calculating that it has to be paid back eventually, right? With interest at the moment, low interest, but eventually high interest rates, right? So this is what happened, and then they got themselves into bigger properties, better vehicles, a cottage, a this, a that. Like we need to invest into a pool because our good friends have a pool. I'm like, why can't you just go to your friends and use their pool, right? Or and find a buddy with a nice yacht and use his yacht, right? So everyone knows the best yacht is your buddy's yacht. Same way goes with the pool, right? And don't get me wrong, like I'm not saying that just to say it. I mean, like there are a lot of people with a lot of money, they can afford it, and it's good for them. Good, like it's fine. Like I've been in home theaters that are like way over $150,000, right? And that's fine. They have businesses, they have somewhere to spend it, they want to enjoy it, right? Like this guy's watching City Pulse on $150,000 home theater. Well, fine. Like, but he's very comfortable. He wakes up in the morning, he walks down to downtown Oakville on Lakeshore, has a Starbucks or a coffee, speaks to his friends. They shoot around a golf. They drive nice vehicles. They enjoy, right? Like they're into the sailing clubs in Oakville and Burlington and all of that stuff, right? So it's a different lifestyle, right? But I think most people got caught now in that massive death ratio. They cannot physically pay it back, no matter what they do, right? Because working from 9 to 5, it's working from 9 to 5, right? I mean, what you could do is work from 5 to 9, so you have 2 jobs, 3 shifts, fine, but that doesn't move the needle, right? And during the stress test, let me call it that the period after the pandemic, the stress test showed that majority of people, right, were paying interest only on their mortgages, right? So they did not even, I would say, do anything to their equity. In fact, it would trigger the offset, and it would make it even more devastating situation, because it would trigger that interest rates, and then they would have to pay out of pocket and this and that and the other, right? So variable rates, horrible story, right? And I have mentioned to some of even like my friends, like, you know, they're living in these 2 million plus dollar homes and whatnot, and I said like, okay, I got it, but like you have been renting your home for the last 16 months. And they said, no, I own it. Technically, no. Well, technically, you're paying interest only, which means you're renting it. And second, technically, you have given the down payment, and the down payment is an anchor now in this property, so you're trapped. And the third one, you cannot escape because the value has been already by 20-30% down from what you have paid for. So everything combined, my friend is trapped for another decade or 2 or 3 or 5. And the worst thing is they have to provide premium pricing every single month. The guy's so stressed. Like he's so stressed that he's trying to offset it with some stupid videos from for manifesting, or right. But let me get into this for a second, right? Manifestation, like I believe it works. How does it work? I have no idea, right? But I know one thing: you have to have a clear goal, you have to have clear intentions, you have to feel the path, you have to love it, and you have to have actions behind the brain power, right? And then manifestation kind of comes out, right? Naturally or unnaturally or without, whatever, right? I don't know, right? So they tell you, look, you're the percentage of 5 or 10 people you're closest associated with. Yes, you are, right? Because that's just how the cookie crumbles, right? You're that average, right? Who you move, what you do. So yes, things can happen, but like they have been so numb now and paralyzed that they're trying to feed something but with no action, which equals to double nothing. double zero, right? So anyways, I hope you gained some real value out of this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and comment below. Like I'm definitely interested to hear your opinion on what we were kind of discussing today and whatnot. And I want to thank you all for sticking around for so long. Like even my buddy there that commented that he has been watching for 3 years, and he should continue to watch because he might find a nugget what might happen down in the future, and that's what we will continue to talk about. What might actually happen down the road and all the possibilities that are laid out in front of us. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.